I don't like to do black and white thinking. Unfortunately, there happens to be a lot of duality on the earth plane, and there is a lot about narcissistic abuse and workplace bullying that is twofold. Narcissists and workplace bullies are attracted to a combination of your strengths and your weaknesses. Like black magic, the intent is also twofold. It is to send and to take. Narcissists and workplace bullies are trying to projectile vomit all of their negative crap all over you whilst simultaneously taking all of your goodies. It's an energy exchange, an energetic transfer. These people need a soul transplant. They effectively want to be you. As a result of the abuse, no matter how strong we try to be, unfortunately, two things happen. We pick up a bunch of garbage that gets past our boundaries that does not belong to us, and we lose parts of ourselves along the way. And it's kind of sad when we wake up 30 years later and realize we no longer recognize what we see in the mirror. It is a form of grief. Healing from narcissistic abuse and workplace bullying is not only getting rid of all the stuff that is not ours, but also retrieving the parts of ourselves that we have lost. Again, everyone learns to repress, deny, and reject parts of themselves due to negative external reinforcement in childhood. A lot of parents claim that they love their children unconditionally, but the truth is that parental love comes with all kinds of conditions. I actually don't believe that human beings love unconditionally. If you have a dog, yes, you love your dog, but if your dog craps on the carpet, he's going to hear about it. That's a condition. I believe that God is the only source of unconditional love. Parental love has a lot of strings attached. Parents have very clear expectations about you and your life and what they will and will not tolerate. So we all learn that there are certain parts of ourselves that are not acceptable. They're going to result in abuse, abandonment, neglect, rejection. In other words, they are not lovable. As a result, we all divide ourselves into so-called good and bad parts, and then apply those same value judgments to our emotions when the truth is that emotions are value neutral. Narcissists are no different. Again, a narcissist is someone who has literally killed off the authentic self. It's the part of himself that caused him pain. A narcissist has discarded part of himself and substituted in its place the false self, the mask, the narcissistic ego. Because narcissism is an antagonistic personality style, all too often what the narcissist has discarded is his femininity, his sensitivity, emotionality, and intuition, the part that feels, and replaced it with a compulsion to project aggressive strength out into the world, which is weak camouflage for deep core inner insecurity. But abuser, victim, narcissist, codependent, bully, empath, it's two sides to the same coin. Sometimes the problem is you have done the same thing. Negative external reinforcement may continue into adulthood in the form of bullying. As young adults, when we suffer some kind of abusive trauma, a toxic workplace, a firing, a bad breakup, social ostracism and rejection, whatever, unfortunately, what we start doing is we start course correcting. We get the message loud and clear that there is a part of ourselves that our abusers did not like. It got us into trouble and it kept us from getting our needs met, basic needs like money and love. We figure out what these people did not like, and then we start waving the white flag, making peace offerings, and repressing the part of ourselves that these people had a problem with in the first place. Because all abuse is always about the same thing, power and control. All too often what we have killed off is our power. And the problem is that that just makes the bullying worse. If you've watched my channel long enough, by now you know I am a signist. I will cop to it, guilty as charged. I have major problems with the Mars-ruled signs, Aries and Scorpio, especially Aries. Apologies to my Aries people. Scorpio is kind of growing on me. We call Aries the baby of the zodiac, and that's exactly what I think of them. Just can't stand them, especially Aries Moon and Aries Venus. I think they are just these trashy, tacky people, these attention-seeking toddlers stomping around. They're immature, loud, aggressive, unnecessarily competitive, and oversexed. Everyone thinks that Scorpio is the sex-obsessed sign of the zodiac. It's not. Yes, when Scorpio is immature and narcissistic, he just wants to have sex. But what Scorpio really wants is to merge, to unite with another person in order to experience universal consciousness. In that sense, Scorpio can be quite spiritual. Aries just wants to screw everything that moves. Aries wants sex for sex's sake, and they always compete over a bunch of shit that they don't even care about. Well, obviously my problem with Aries is my stuff. You can literally see it in my chart. I've got my Mars buried in the 4th house. The 4th house represents the part of you that almost no one ever sees unless they live with you for a long time, and the part that you don't want anyone else to see. And Mars is anger. I would be mortified if anyone ever saw me get angry, and I have been crucified, abandoned, fired, dumped, bullied, etc. every single time I have ever gotten angry in my life. And that is just the universe confirming my own fear to me. Clearly, anger was not acceptable in my mother's house. I can imagine I was a strong-willed and opinionated brat who dug in her little heels and gave my mother hell sometimes, and my mother understandably did not like that, and she let me know it. So I learned to suppress all of my Mars energies, my anger and my competitiveness, but also my drive, ambition, and will to live at all. As young adults, some of us, especially women, get the message loud and clear that our power and our strength are a problem for a lot of people, and so we just start giving it all away. Because I've been so consistently bullied everywhere I have ever gone for over 30 years, I understood that people were afraid of me because I could sense that fear. So I transformed myself into the most innocuous, harmless version of myself I possibly could. I put down all my weapons. I picked up the white flag and started waving it around all over the place like, I come in peace. Please don't hurt me. I weakened my body by starving myself. I became toxically feminine. I destroyed my posture by placing myself physically under other people. I started hiding, literally shuffling around in all black, 4 sizes too big, no makeup, hair pulled back. I started moving and talking slowly and softly. I stopped talking at all. I became agreeable and conflict averse. Someone could tell me that the earth is flat and I would agree with them just to avoid conflict. I became passive, even spiritually, giving up my free will in favor of fate and destiny. In other words, I gave away my passion and my fight. Maybe there is a part of me that is aggressive, angry, loud, or just driven, ambitious, competitive, and attention-seeking, who likes to win, who likes to be right, who likes to have the last word, who likes to be the center of attention. Maybe part of me wants to be the boss, B-I-T-C-H. I never feel competitive with anyone or anything. I compete only with myself. But it's been so long, I probably don't remember that part of myself. The problem with that is that it doesn't work. Human history has shown us that appeasement does not work with bullies. If you have transformed yourself into an altered version of yourself in order to avoid abuse and started waving the white flag, that in and of itself is a narcissistic false self. It's a mask. It's fake and manipulative. You cannot manipulate or control people into treating you the way that you want them to. That's codependent people-pleasing. It's exhausting, and it's a waste of time and energy. Things don't go away just because you repress them. What happens instead is it attracts stalking and fight picking. People can sense that you are hiding something, and so they start stalking you to get your number and trying to provoke you in order to force you to show your hand. Are you a nice person because you are genuinely a humanist with real love and compassion for all of God's creation? Or are you too wearing a narcissistic false mask just so that you don't get hurt? I'm not saying the alternative is to get rude and mean. I'm not saying be a bitch. That would be stooping to these people's level, which is exactly what they want. I'm saying stop course correcting. Stop waving the white flag. put down the peace offering, they don't work. RuPaul said, we are all born naked and the rest is drag. To a certain extent, everyone's wearing a mask. This is the workplace. You don't lay all your cards on the table and expose all of your vulnerabilities the minute that you meet new people in any relationship, inside or outside of the workplace. But maybe if you can try to show up as authentically as you possibly can, that can help mitigate the bullying somewhat. Embrace your inner Scorpio. I be given Wednesday Addams vibes. How are you today? I feel like shit. Thanks for asking. I hope that helps. Take care.